Welcome to the Stockyards in Fort Worth, Texas. Tonight, it's the Week 4 Monday Night Spectacular, and it's Marcus Dunhill's return to his old stomping grounds, the Stockyards here in Fort Worth, where the 1-1 Toros take on the 2-1 Carolina Skyhawks, all decked out in their all whites. Tonight, Fort Worth, and they're all blues, and we are ready for a good fight. Big game here tonight, Charles, for Marcus Dunhill and these two teams. What are you most looking forward to tonight?
Well, you know, Carolina comes in here tonight, Cam, with a score to settle. Last season, Marcus was on the other side of the field, and they lit up Carolina 45-0, and they're looking to get some payback tonight.
Yeah, sometimes we come into these Monday Night Spectaculars, Charles, and we see, the last 7 times it's been a one-score game. Well, not necessarily here. Now, these two teams have been in the league quite some time, 33 combined seasons. Fort Worth's been in it 10, but they've only played the Skyhawks twice, so not a lot of history between these two teams outside of the Marcus Dunhill connection, and we will see if Carolina can put up a better showing tonight against the Toros. The ball's on the tee. Amelia Rose's hand is in the air. We're ready to go in Tejas. Kick it. We are underway as Carolina from 8 yards deep will take a knee. That is Nolan Pierce, the #1 overall pick back there, returning kicks. And Marcus Dunhill is back out here on the field at the Stockyards, Charles. He has had some trouble adapting to this Carolina offense through the first 3 games.
Yeah, he's a little upside down on the TD to interception ratio. Hopefully he'll write a little bit better tonight.
Dunhill under center will hand it off to Riley Quintero. Picks up a couple of nice blocks, and he'll get 3 yards. The Carolina offense features Dunhill, Riley Quintero, Harish Prasad, and Tony Zoma in the backfield. Receivers are Nolan Pierce, Chase Earl, Adam Banks, and Chris Curtis. At tight end, Vince DeSantis on the line. Keep your eye out for Kate Palmer, number 67, Chad Rowland, number 71, Ricky Rigatoni, number 69, Chris Cross, number 77. Curtis goes in motion. He has been the #1 target of this past game so far this season. Dunhill drops to throw. Will now have to scramble to his left. Fires over to Curtis on a check down. That pass is hauled in for a pickup of 3. Adam Leach with the stop.
Good way to build up some momentum on first down. Send your best wide receiver on a drag route across the middle. He's going to get separation on almost any defender in this league, and just an easy completion.
3-yard pickups on each of the first 2 plays for the Skyhawk offense. Curtis goes back in motion. It'll be a 3-by-0 as Aiden Davis follows Curtis across the field from left to right. Dunhill drops to throw. Dunhill fires with a clean pocket, incomplete off the hands of Curtis. Not Dunhill's fault on that one. Carolina will have to punt.
That was on Curtis. I think it hit him in the mitts. Should have brought that in.
So we'll get a quick and early look at Eric Price, who through the first 2 games, has been efficient sometimes in this league. Charles, if you can just get a positive touchdown interception ratio, you're counting your blessings. Eric Price has delivered 2 touchdowns, just 1 interception in his first 2 games in a Toro uniform. He'll get his opportunity after Cade Stevens returns it to the 44-yard line.
And they got a pretty decent build on the Toro offense, and Eric Price is not much of I don't think he's much of a gambler when it comes to executing the offensive game plan. So I think that it shows on his stats, and let's see what he does tonight, if he can spread the ball around, because he's got a lot of talent on that offense.
Stephen Hacker lone wolfing it in our stats truck, but Ron Haynes is there to assist just in case. And with Haynes' vision tonight, Chris Curtis, Tyler Falk back in our studios. And, of course, it's Charles Doherty and yours truly here. Robert Garrett Jr. goes in motion from right to left. Eric Price wears number 8. He will toss the ball out to Jet Zero, the former Queen City Corsair. He picks up 1 yard, wrapped up at the end of the play by free safety Mike Ryan. Fort Worth's offense includes Eric Price, Jet Zero, J.Z. Bacon, Aaron Alexander in the backfield. Henry McGee, Cade Stevens, and Stephen Hacker at wide receiver. Robert Garrett Jr., James Jennings at tight ends. On the line, Duke LaRoe, number 69, as Price's passes intercepted, tipped, and deflected. Mojo McClain with the INT. We'll get back to the offensive line of Fort Worth when they're next back on the field. But for Fort Worth, they have their 2nd turnover of the season.
It didn't look like on defense they disguised any coverage, Cam. Just stood back there, Mojo McClain, doing what he was told to do, and ball was thrown right to him and got his first interception of the season.
Mojo McClain with his 4th interception of his 5-season career. So the linebackers stepping up big for Carolina early. They'll go empty 5 wide to start their second drive on the Fort Worth 48. Dunhill drops to throw, fires down the field, incomplete. Tight coverage on Chase Earl, no call. The Fort Worth Toros defense features Jeff Duffy, Jerry D. Gond up front. Luther Gond also on the defensive line at tackle. Linebackers E.K. Vincent, Dexter Jackson. Not a very deep unit, but one of the best 1-2 punches starting in the league. In the secondary, Tavius Gordon, Adam Leach, Aiden Davis at corner. Ben Stone, Zion Waddles at free safety. Delaney Nash, your season 21 MVP at strong safety. Dunhill on a 2nd down and 10. From under center, escapes to his left.
Nice.
Duffy's blocked up, and that pass is caught. Adam Banks with his first catch of the night, pick up a 5.
Yeah, smart move there by the KG veteran. The puck was starting to break down, took a couple steps, added some time to let the routes develop, pumped it off, and got 5 out of the deal.
2-by-1, 2 to the far side left, or right rather. That shifts to left. Earl goes in motion. More man coverage out of Fort Worth here tonight. Davis is getting a workout. Quintero in the backfield, splits out wide. Dunhill again has to escape to his left. That pass is caught by Vince DeSantis. There's a flag on the play. I think they're going to get Fort Worth for pass interference, but DeSantis caught it anyway. Carolina's going to be in the red zone.
Yeah, and DeSantis, every time he goes out on a route, he governs his route great. He's a great route runner, good catch downfield, and good gain there for Carolina.
Vince DeSantis, all-time 2,380 yards, 15 touchdowns. That's reception 233 on his 9-season career. And just like that, Carolina is in the red zone thanks to Marcus Dunhill's 3-for-5 start. Dunhill going to throw again. Fires into the end zone. That pass is caught. Touchdown, Carolina. Vince DeSantis, touchdown 16 of his career. Carolina's passing game gets moving and gets the Skyhawks on the board.
It's amazing how well your quarterback plays when you've got 4 contract linemen in Palmer, Rowland, Rigatoni, and Cross just blocking their brains out. Plenty of time for Dunhill to go through the progressions. Wasn't touched. Not a blade of grass has touched his uniform tonight.
Dunhill in his return to Fort Worth starts 4 for 6 for 46 yards, and Carolina takes the Mojo McClain interception and turns it into 7 points. Fort Worth has barely been on the field thus far, 0 with just a 1-yard carry on his first touch, and Price on his first throw, an interception. He only had 1 interception in his first 35 throws to start the season. From the 4-yard line on the return for Fort Worth, that's Ben Stone up to the 27-yard line. Back to the Fort Worth offensive line. Keep your eye on Duke LaRue, tackle number 69, Emilio Panda at tackle number 73, Jaleel LaRue, number 75, the guard, and Frank Burks, number 77 at guard as well. Both lines pretty talented up front.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, keep your eye on Burks. I mean, if you're going to run the ball, I would put an extra defender there in front of Burks, because that's money when you run behind that 6'6", 310 monster.
The most veteran lineman for Fort Worth in his 6th season, all with the team. That pass caught by Robert Garrett Jr. Yeehaw! First down.
Love it when they get the tight ends involved, and if you want to have a valuable tight end on your roster, look no further than Robert Garrett Jr. Always has been a solid contributor every season, and KG veteran, knows how to run routes, and is very strong. I mean, if it's a one-on-one fight, Garrett's going to win every time.
I love when you say KG veteran. Why are they in a cage, Charles? That's what I want to know.
It's KG, man. They're like ready to get out of the cage, always on their heels, man, running around.
I love it. Jet 0 with a carry. Not much room there. Carolina's defense on the line. LJ Hobbs, May Carter at the ends. Phil Hall, Christopher Colon at tackle. Linebackers, Danny Stinson, Mojo McClain, Shravan Prasad, they all kind of wander around that mid-7. Tristan Hatley, T.D. Jack, Davidson Joseph at corner, Skippy Curtis, Mike Ryan, Ibari, Amon Eaglin are your safeties, and that's Danny Stinson with the knockaway to force 3rd and 10.
Well, I mean, they had 27 men on the line for for Carolina. It looked like they were bringing the house, and there had to be somebody open downfield.
This Fort Worth team, they've been at it for a while. 3rd down and 10. They have 10 players on this roster that have been in the SFL for more than 5 years. This is a veteran bunch trying to win their first title. You can feel like, maybe this is their moment. Eric Price fires out to Cade Stevens. That pass is short of the first down. But so far in this one, it's been Carolina's moment, trying to get one of their best starts to a season in franchise history.
Yeah, and I mean, hats off to Harish. I mean, he's got a really solid roster. I think this is probably the best one he's had since he's been an owner. I mean, well done. They've got talent, and I think this is the season where I think they're going to go the furthest they've ever gone.
Fort Worth comes up short. That punt is deep, and it bounces into the end zone. Carolina trying to start a season 3-1 or better since season 11, when they were an undefeated 4-0 squad that made the playoffs for the first time under the Skyhawks banner. They've won 2 playoff games since then, season 20, season 23. Fort Worth has been to the playoff 5 straight seasons. So I would say over the past couple of years, both of these teams getting pretty familiar to the postseason. Dunhill drops to throw. He'll fire. I thought it was going to get picked, and that turned out to be the ref. Wide open. Adam Banks near a first down.
Yeah, another example of good pass blocking by that offensive line, and just allowed the wide receiver Banks to find that seam.
Maybe my eyes are going bad, Charles. I mean, I really thought that was a Fort Worth defender. Riley Quintero hasn't had much going in the run game. Gets stifled. 2-yard loss. Dexter Jackson, nice TFL.
I'll tell you what I'm looking for tonight for Carolina is number 11. The first draft pick, Nolan Pierce. If he gets on the field, I would send him on fly routes all night.
For
He's
sure.
one of the fastest runners in the league.
3rd and 2, and Harish Prasad going nowhere, a loss of a yard. Jeff Duffy at defensive end making the huge stop. Duffy chasing a milestone tonight and makes Carolina pay. They'll have to punt.
Those two, the defensive ends for the Toros are, I think, the 2 best, combination of 2 best defensive ends against any team in the league. I mean, they're both the highest rating you could possibly have. 6'5", over 300, faster than all, and I mean, just a nightmare for any offensive coordinator.
Jeff Duffy, it's not often you get a milestone like this to chase, Charles, on a broadcast, but he's got 137 sacks. He needs just 2 to pass Taekwon Hale for 4th all-time in SFL history. I mean, you're talking about a potential 2025 Hall of Famer, and Jeff Duffy could get that tonight.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's an amazing career for that man.
So shout out to Duffy in his 15th season with the SFL and 8th here in Fort Worth. He was the Defensive Player of the Year in season 14 as J.Z. Bacon gets a 4-yard carry. Fort Worth trying to get the run game going. Both run games have been stifled in the first quarter.
Well, I mean, I do like the fact that the Toros, you're getting their tight end, Garrett, involved. They've got some studs there as wide receiver. Everybody knows Hacker, but Stevens and McGee, man, you got to keep your eye on them. I'd be sending them on deep routes as well.
Both tight ends off to the right. They go down to block, and Jet Zero finds a lane right where they were. Great job by the tight ends and the big bodies up front. Zero's got a first down.
If you're going to have your starting running back, it's got to be named Jet, It can't be Rock, I think. I mean, maybe more for a fullback. Jet Zero. What a great name.
Can you imagine Rock Zero? That, doesn't work. It just doesn't work.
Rock stuck.
Duffy in the chat, appreciate it, guys. Been an honor. Yeah, we've enjoyed watching you. 4-time All-Star all across your season. That's Bacon again on the carry. Stinson picks up just 1, and the same thing with Bacon, right? I mean, you can't call him prosciutto, right? I mean, you got to get the sizzle.
Nope, you cannot, or bologna.
2nd down and 9, 3:08 left in the first. Carolina and Marcus Dunhill has the early 7-0 lead. His touchdown to Vince DeSantis, the difference. But Eric Price and the Toros are on the move. That pass is caught by McGee. First down inside the 25-yard line, tackled by Ryan.
Yeah, I mean, Eric Price, you give him time. I mean, he's going to make you pay. Doesn't make a lot of mistakes, and virtually uncovered up until he got to that next level.
Eric Price last season spent some time with the Pittsburgh Riverhawks, kind of split some time with Michael Brown, but he had Connor Weston to throw to, and Weston had a banner season, so we know that Price certainly has it in him. He kind of got phased out towards the end of last season and found a home with the Toros now. Dump off to Jet Zero, got a lot of space. Stinson, nice open field tackle, but Zero still able to get 9+.
You're probably not gonna see the replay there, but that pocket was breaking down, and veteran move there by Eric Price just to dump it off to the running back and let him do his magic.
8 in the box for Carolina. Fort Worth on the move. Toss play out to Bacon. Great kick out block by Alexander. And Bacon sizzling in the end zone for the touchdown.
Oh my gosh. That was a great play. The offensive line, and I believe the tight end as well, set that edge, setting Bacon up for a clear path there to the end zone. Great block by Alexander as well.
Nice move from Bacon. Jay-Z's got 20 yards on his first 3 carries, and for Bacon, that's touchdown number 57. He's 11 behind Jet Zero, both of them in the top 40.
I was trying to come up with some witty Bacon comment, and I just muffed it, man.
That's all right, man. See, that's the beauty of broadcasting. You don't have to tell everybody when you fluffed it. You can just.
I know. I'm transparent though.
You are, yeah. Well, you know, not as transparent as Curtis, but still pretty transparent.
There you go.
He's gonna get me back for that one. 2:07 to go in the first quarter. We're all knotted up at 7. Both offenses coming out, playing pretty impressive first quarters. Over/under set at 41.5. Fort Worth, the slim 2.5-point favorites. Nolan Pierce on a return, but can't find a lot of space. Only up to the 24-yard line, so Dunhill will get his 3rd crack at the football.
I tell you what, Sir Dunhill is playing pretty well so far here early in the game. 5 for 7, a touchdown, and a 133 QBR.
And he needed it. You know, he was only all time he completes 67% of his passes, but here in Carolina was just completing 43%. Coming in right now, 71%. Dunhill off to a strong start. 1st and 10 at the 24. Trips left here for Carolina. Draw to Quintero, and surprisingly, the run game for Carolina not doing a whole lot. Fort Worth's been all over it.
So if for some reason Dunhill doesn't have a great night tonight, it's all going to be Chad Rowland's fault. I don't know why, but it just seems apropos.
Let us know what you think about that in the chat, Carolina peeps. 3 receivers. He already had his revenge game. They took down Indianapolis last week. Now it's Dunhill's turn as Quintero gets his best carry of the night up to about the 31-yard line to set up 3rd and short.
And that was great blocking again. And I didn't see which offensive lineman pulled, but just cleared the way there for a good run.
3rd and short. In the tie game at 7. Toss to Prasad, and for the 2nd time tonight, that play blown up by Dexter Jackson. Fort Worth's defense with a critical stop.
You know, Chris Cross had the right idea, lead blocking there, but for some reason turned around and ran the other way, and his poor halfback got slammed.
Carolina's run game averages 112 yards per game. So far tonight, 8. Fair catch called for by Stevens, and he's lucky because he just about got decapitated as Fort Worth's 3rd drive will start from the 39-yard line.
As I've said this, you know, since you and I have been doing games, that's the one position out there I would never want to have in real life as a punt returner.
The 4th drive, actually, and Fort Worth's gotten better each drive. They had a pick, then they went 3 and out, had a punt, and then they had a 6-play drive that resulted in a touchdown. Hand off to Bacon. And Jay-Z Bacon is able to push a couple linebackers forward for 6.
Both of these offensive line tonight, Cam, just blocking really well. The defensive line haven't, heard a lot of, key plays on either side for the defensive line. I mean, it's still early in the game, but the offensive line so far is winning.
Phil Hall, a 3-time All-Star on Carolina's side. Duffy and Luther Gahn, both 4-time All-Stars on the Fort Worth side. As Zero has a nice bit of room to run. Gets a first down. Mike Ryan has to clean it up. There's nobody over there.
That's what you want. I mean, that's perfect. And Eric Price is just, smiling from ear to ear when you got that type of run game.
Alexander didn't know who to block. There was not much in the white jerseys out there for the Skyhawk defense. That ends the first quarter. And another good one here on the Monday Night Spectacular. Carolina 7, Fort Worth 7. We'll be right back. Ron Haynes assisting tonight. Stephen Hacker, lone wolfing in the stat truck, doing a great job for us. Charles Doherty, Cameron Irvine here with you. Chris Curtis, Tyler Falk back in studio.
Hacker's just showing off. I can do both sides, offense and defense.
He's singing that "Anything You Can Do, I Can Do Better" song to himself right now.
Yep.
Stevens on in motion. Now 3-by-1 look from the left. Oh, little end around to Aaron Alexander, but Stinson's there to make the play. Like the creativity, but it lost 3 yards.
Stinson was just salivating there. He knew this was going to end well for him. Just waited his turn to bring the runner down.
So look at your first half stats, +1 play. Just 1 first down for Carolina as Stephen Hacker gets the first down to the 32-yard line. Carolina doing a lot of work on big chunk plays early. Fort Worth's been a little bit more methodical.
He's doing offensive stats, defensive stats, talking in game chat, and catching the balls. I mean, he's just showing off. Getting a little sickening.
Well, you weren't in his bad graces before, Charles, but he's coming for you now. Price, almost identical stats to Dunhill so far, 5 for 7 for 65 yards. The difference, just that interception. J.Z. Bacon has 10 plus all the way into the red zone of the 19-yard line.
Just that little shimmy, or I don't even know if that's the right word to use, but at the line there, just opened it up and was able to take that, burst past the first down markers. And man, great play there by Bacon.
Bacon 37 yards on his first 5 carries. Don't often see yards per carry numbers like that. He is really excelling early on in this contest. Ball at the 19-yard line. 8:40 to go in the first half. Handoff now to Jet Zero, and Stinson again blowing it up. That is his 6th combined solo and assisted tackle.
I mean, he's, between Stinson and Prasad and McLean, I mean, you got a good stable of linebackers there on Carolina.
Price fires. It's almost picked twice. That was Amon Eaglin, who had a couple opportunities at it, really spying Price there, nearly got the pick.
Oh, you need to bring those in. Oh my gosh! I mean, I'm stating the obvious. You hit both your mitts, man. You got to hold on to it.
3rd down, 8 yards to go. Price drops to throw. Clean pocket. Caught by McGee. 1st and goal at the 9.
Oh man, between McGee and Garrett, both of them ran great routes. Had plenty of options there for Price.
Well, 1st and goal at the 8-yard line. J.Z. Bacon has gone 7 consecutive games without a touchdown. His last score was September 13th. Maybe they try to get him going here down in the red zone and get him another look. Price fires, pass, caught, Hacker, touchdown in the back.
That is beautiful. That's a beautiful play. The route wasn't too fancy. I mean, it looked like it was just, a slant into the end zone, and got a step on Hatley, made him pay for it.
I misspoke. I should say that Bacon snapped that 7-game touchdownless streak with his touchdown on the last drive, and Eric Price finding Hacker in the back of the end zone for the score. 14-7. The Toros have scored 2 straight and now lead by a touchdown. Impressive.
Very impressive, and let's see how Carolina responds. The running game, at least the last series, wasn't too effective. Let's see if they go back to the well, or they maybe try and go a little more pass heavy.
From the 1, This is Prasad on the return. Harish Prasad breaks a tackle but could not get away. I thought he was going to get the edge, but 26 on 26 crime brings him down.
Definitely. I mean, he's always been known as a great returner, and makes a lot of sense putting him back there. If he gets open field, not many people in this league can run him down.
Harish Prasad, 14 kick return touchdowns in his career, third best all time. He basically averages one a season. Couldn't break that one there, but always dangerous, as you said. 1st and 10 at the 35 now. Handoff to Quintero. Quintero gets only a couple. This is really the first time, Charles, in a long time I can remember Carolina's run game getting bottled up like this.
Yeah, and on that particular play, you got to give credit to the linebacker Dexter Jackson and the cornerback Tavius Gordon. I mean, they would just read it right there and shut it down.
Handoff. Prasad going to push Delaney Nash forward. Really well done to set up a third and manageable. But a couple times they've been on 3rd and 3, Charles. They've run that toss and it hasn't worked.
Yeah, and on that one, Gond was expecting maybe a pitch route and ran to the outside there, and I think kept them from bringing down the running back for less a gain.
3rd and 3. They'll toss it again. This time it's Quintero. Quintero puts a move on a defender and gets a first down, a much-needed first down for the Skyhawks out near midfield.
Yeah, they didn't give up on their running game, Cam, and on this series, it's they're doing really well at it, and it starts with the blocking on the edge, not just the offensive line, but also the tight ends as well.
Got to give a shout-out to the Fort Worth run defense. They've actually been 5 of the last 6 seasons a top 12 run defense, otherwise upper half of the league. So far this season, they are 10th in run defense. They give up 104 yards per game. 1st down and 10 as Earl goes in motion. Carolina trailing 14-7. Back to the ground game. That's Prasad, 4-yard pickup.
And Dexter Jackson, again, he's all over the field tonight, running down running backs, hitting the tight ends. He's doing whatever he needs to do.
Jackson up to 6 tackles. 2nd and 6. 6 minutes to go in the second quarter. Toss. That is Quintero. And cut down by Vincent and Leach. Leach, 2 yards short of the first down.
See what Carolina dials up here on 3rd and 2. Are they going to stick with that running game, which has been successful, or maybe kind of fool them with a play-action pass?
3rd and 2, handoff outside. That is Harish Prasad. They say he got it. I don't know about that.
I don't know. Hanky time.
And
I think it's hanky
Charles,
time, Cam.
Fort Worth is, you see the stunt. They're stunting outside, expecting an outside run, and that's exactly what Carolina's given them. So you can definitely see some good scouting going on with the Toros. We do have a retroactive look at the play presented by Retroid as Fort Worth challenging this spot. I think it's a good challenge.
Yeah, I've never seen this before, but the hanky bounced 4 times. Yeah, no way. I'd be shocked if they gave that to Carolina.
Yeah, looks like 4th and inches. The question will be, will Carolina turn around and go for it? It is overturned. So will it be 4th and 1, 4th and inches?
I wouldn't hate him for going for it, Cam. How about you?
Yeah, not at all. I mean, Fort Worth's got a lot of momentum right now. Carolina's kind of in no man's land here. And they will go for it.
Nice, smart.
5:25 to go in the first half. Our first real big play of this game. 4th and inches. Carolina trying to keep the drive alive. Dunhill changes the play at the line. Dunhill takes his time, hands it off, and it is a turnover on downs. Quintero can't get there. E.K. Vincent with the stop.
Oh, that was close, but man, Vincent just got past nobody touched him. He got right past the blocking scheme and was able to disrupt that run. Great play by the Toros. Great stand.
Delaney Nash shot the gap and disrupted the play in the backfield. Fort Worth takes over at their own 38-yard line now with a touchdown lead. The Toros have had TDs on each of their last 2 drives, a 6-play drive and a 9-play drive. Eric Price with pressure fires it complete to Hacker, who gets around the corner to the Carolina 45-yard line. Brilliance from 88.
Definitely. When Price flew through that ball, it's like, oh no, it's going to be an interception. But put it only where Hacker could get it, and then after that, it was just pure magic by Hacker.
Hacker up to 26 yards. He's the leading receiver in this, or check that, 43 yards. He's the leading pass catcher in this game. Price, 8 of 11 for 100 yards, and he has really shaken off that early interception, and he's now completed 8 of his last 10. Handoff 0, gets long 7 inside the 40.
Fort Worth's clearly in the driver's seat, Cam. I mean, they've been running well. They've been executing some fabulous passes downfield. They just don't need to be too aggressive at this point. They got plenty of time, and they seem to be firing on all cylinders.
4.5 left. Hacker goes in motion. Carolina, I mentioned at the top of the show, they lost here 45-0 last year, so they're already playing much better than that. Yeah. But they are trailing and losing momentum quickly. J.Z. Bacon down the sideline to the Carolina 22, first down.
That is just a disciplined runner right there. I mean, the blocking was really good on the edge there, but from that point, he's just it's just all Bacon at that point. I mean, nice little shift there when the first defender got to him. Good read, downfield. He's got good eyes, and man, one of the best runs tonight.
Fort Worth averaging 8.5 yards per play in this quarter, and not coincidentally, J.Z. Bacon averaging 8.8 yards a carry. 0 picks up 3 on that run.
I mean, the Zero and Bacon show. I mean, they're cooking.
Carolina's defense needs an answer. They got one early with Mojo McClain's interception. They've only deflected one pass. That was Amon Eaglin's near interception. Price with a clean pocket, takes off and runs inside the 10, slides early enough, gets a 1st and goal.
Veteran move there, didn't see anything. Good coverage by the Skyhawks. Was able to see an opening down the middle and just went for it.
Good patience from Price. That's his first true scramble of the season. Price in his career, 41 carries for -7 yards. So it's not much of a runner, but he gets it done on that drive as Zero will scoop up 2 more yards to his name, 2nd and goal.
Whew, man, so at this point, Cam, do they just rely on their run here, or they try and pass it? I'd think about maybe getting Garrett involved here. Well, you got Hacker too, but they may not be expecting Garrett in the corner.
They'll stick with the ground game. Bacon dove for the end zone and got speared right at the line, 3rd and goal.
Yeah, I mean, right now it's just they've got the whole playbook open here, and they've been able to dictate their terms on the field so far. So let's see. This is the time for Carolina. If they're going to step up, let's step up now and stop them from getting in the end zone.
Could be Alexander time here. Nope, they're going to hand it off to Zero, and he's stopped in the backfield. Incentive money there for Mike Ryan, 4th and goal. Carolina gets the stop.
The whole crew met the running back in the backfield, but Mike Ryan finished it off. A good stand there by Carolina. They only walked potentially another 3 against them, but that's a heck of a lot better than 7.
Fort Worth's got momentum, but the Skyhawks are fighting. 14-7 here in the Week 4 Monday Night Spectacular. Season 24, just 1 season away from our special 25th anniversary season. That field goal is good, and that 25th anniversary season kicks off in Baltimore, July 10th through the 14th. Join SFL Nation at the rooftop pool of our host hotel, the Hyatt Regency, looking out into Baltimore's Inner Harbor. You can reserve your room now at the special group rate at simfl.net. We've got a big-time surprise for everyone attending that convention, Charles, so hope you're able to catch it.
I am trying.
Prasad on the return. Again up the left side. Got a little space. Cut down at the 28-yard line. Well, Carolina, they got off to that hot start. Dunhill was 5 for 7, but Marcus Dunhill hasn't thrown a pass, seemingly, in about 25 minutes of real-life game time.
When he is throwing it, he's doing a pretty darn good job, Cam. I mean, he's got 133 QBR and 71% completion rate, so he's balling.
12 straight runs for Carolina since Dunhill started, 5 for 7. With 1:52 to go, ball's on the 28-yard line, and Curtis goes in motion. Really trying to get Dunhill back involved here. Draw to Quintero, and look at Fort Worth flying to the football from the secondary. That's Delaney Nash and Tavius Gordon in there for the stop.
Yeah, I mean, they've only got 2 contract linebackers, but man, it looks like they've got 5. They both, Vincent and Jackson, are all over the field tonight.
Very, very good. Empty backfield for Dunhill. Finally, a pass. That pass is caught by Curtis. First down to the 39-yard line with 1:20 to go in the first half. Coming up on the Monday Night Spectacular halftime report, Chris Curtis and Tyler Falk will have a recap of the first half. Which unbeaten will be beaten first, and which winless team will taste victory first? That and more on this upcoming edition of the Monday Night Spectacular halftime report. 3 unbeatens: Vancouver, Bossier City, and Washington. None of them made the playoffs last season. Prasad, check that. Quintero on the carry. Carolina will burn their first time out.
And another good play there by Nash. Good, he's known for his quick reaction times, able to cover a lot of ground in a short amount of time and keep a gain from happening.
Yeah, he's a special player. It's not often a defensive player wins MVP. He's one of the best out there. Dunhill's now 6 for 8, 63 yards. Carolina's got 2 timeouts in their pocket, and they have the ball on their own 40-yard line. Dropping to throw. Dunhill fires. That pass is deflected up in the air, and DeSantis nearly caught it off the ricochet. A lot of crowd right there, including Nash.
Yeah, that was not for a lack of good blocking there by the offensive line. I mean, Marcus Dunhill had the Great Wall of Carolina protecting him.
That's fantastic, Charles. The Great Wall of Carolina. Love it. 3rd and 9. Dunhill fires down the field, caught. Adam Banks, first down into Fort Worth territory. 1 timeout left for Carolina. That ball put on a rope.
I tell you what, Banks been targeted twice, but every time he's 100%, brings it in. Good route running. I mean, you don't expect Banks to be the #1 wide receiver. I mean, with Curtis and DeSantis and Earl out there, but man, he is so reliable.
Dunhill starts the night 7 for 10, including that 14-yard touchdown to DeSantis. 1 timeout in Carolina's back pocket. Dunhill fires middle of the field, caught by DeSantis to the 27-yard line. That is it for the timeouts for Carolina. They'll have to be careful in the final 50.
I'm telling you, it's all night. DeSantis has been governing the field well.
There's a look at his updated stat line. 58 yards on 3 grabs. Dunhill under center. Fort Worth creeping up. They bring some pressure. Check down. DeSantis trying to get out of bounds. He does get out of bounds and gets the first down.
What a play, Cam. You just do a drag route across the middle. Your offensive line has just been money all night. Put the ball in the hands of DeSantis and just let him do what he does. Oh, my gosh. Great play call there, Harish.
DeSantis just 1 catch for 12 yards in the first 3 games of the season. He's got 4 grabs for 68 yards so far tonight. Plenty of time with the ball on the Fort Worth 16. Dunhill to pass, clean pocket, touchdown! Oh! What a dime! Chris Curtis for the score.
That was an outstanding pass. I mean, Marcus Dunhill, maybe a handful of other quarterbacks in this league would be able to make that type of accurate pass. It's not terrible coverage. I mean, we almost got double coverage there, and is able to hit it right in the breadbasket.
Zipped it right in between Aiden Davis, who's chasing a milestone of his own tonight, and Ben Stone. Dunhill responds. 10 of 13 for 135 yards, 2 touchdowns, and no picks. And I think it's safe to say, Charles, tonight, Carolina is a better offense when they're throwing.
I mean, that was confidence. I mean, that is Dunhill confidence right there. He doesn't, I mean, maybe he'll throw an interception, but he doesn't care. He sees it open. He's got the confidence in his skills and is just able to drill it in that little hole. And I'm going to hear that in chat.
40 seconds to go in the first quarter. Ball's on the 20. You know, next week, Charles, we go to Arizona. And Eddie Gage, you know, he's always talking about, man, I never get a Monday night home game. Well, this is his opportunity, and he's got a West Division rival, the Sin City Samurai, coming into town. They are desperate, Charles. Now 1-3. Will Sin City get it rolling, or will Arizona continue their hot start? That is next week's Monday Night Spectacular matchup. It looks like Fort Worth's going to wear down this clock.
Yeah, that's going to be a good game. That's going to be a good game.
The week starts with a couple of games on Friday. The Corbin Cup, Carolina and Charleston. And then a pair of 3-1 teams, Lexington and Albuquerque, ascending from the SFLM to the SFL. And Carolina, a quick turnaround. Doesn't get any quicker than that. Last game this week, first game of next week. Back-to-back road games as well. One of the toughest 5-day stretches in the SFL this season. Another run for Fort Worth winds the clock, and that is the end of the first half. What a first half it was, as the Monday Night Spectaculars continue to deliver. 17-14 at the break. Charles, your thoughts on the first half?
Both of these quarterbacks have been just playing lights out, Cam, and both of these offensive lines for Fort Worth and Carolina have been protecting their quarterback and allowing them to do what they do best. I mean, we've seen some incredible passes, some incredible play calling as well, adjustments at the line for both teams. I mean, this is going to go up until the last series, I think, to see who's going to win this game.
Eric Price, very impressive on a night that's all about the other quarterbacks, seemingly. Price has got his team in the lead and is playing some very consistent football. Your first half player, yeah, Vince DeSantis. He is balling out and has helped Carolina hang around in this one, down just 3. Let's take a halftime break presented by Brakes GPT, and we'll be right back to Fort Worth after this and our studio halftime show.
We just pulled a full-size Taylor Swift helmet. Shout out to all our Swifties. Travis Kelce. This is a Giants Lawrence Taylor.
Patrick Mahomes.
Chad Johnson with the Ocho Cinco.
We have a Drew Brees.
Is that an O.J. Simpson jersey?
It's an Aaron Rodgers.
Oh my goodness.
Tom Brady! Tom Brady!
Welcome in to the Monday Night Spectacular Halftime Report. I am Chris Curtis. I'm alongside Tyler Falcon. Tyler, what we thought may have been a one-possession game ends up being a 2-minute drill for the ages with Marcus Dunhill at the helm. What a drive for Carolina. They bring it back to a 3-point game. It's 17-14 Fort Worth at the half. Talk to me about it.
4 consecutive completions for 42 yards combined to get the touchdown. DeSantis with some brilliant moves to the outside. Eventually, you finish it off with a great touchdown. You're doing double duty. I don't know how you got in there and changed out of your uniform and add so quick. But we'll get to that later.
Phone booth, that kind of thing.
Something like that. Okay.
Yeah.
But regardless, right? The main thing is this is now a football game. This is something we didn't see last season between these two clubs. Fort Worth breaking it open with Marcus Dunhill under center for the Toros. Now he's showing us what he can do here in Carolina. This is what he did with Fort Worth. This is what he did with Atlanta. 2 touchdowns, no picks. A very, very composed Marcus Dunhill. And let's give credit to the Toros as well. That running game is no joke. J.Z. Bacon is having the time of his life out there with some superb blocking and able to get downfield. Unfortunately, unable to get down to the field in for a touchdown on the drive prior to the Carolina score. But the big thing is it's a 3-point game. It's a tight game. And oh boy, these Monday Night Spectaculars, they keep getting better.
This certainly seems like that tight game at the half in Fort Worth. I mean, let's talk about real quick that third down stop that Carolina's defense was able to get and keep Fort Worth out of the end zone. This is a different ball game if you put 7 points up instead of 3 And that's what you're looking at there. I mean, we're looking, instead of a 3-point deficit, we'd be looking at a 21-14 ball game at that point. So that makes a whole world of difference. The You mentioned this being a very efficient version of Marcus Dunhill. It seems Fort Worth kind of picked their poison a little bit. They focused on the running game, and they look at Marcus and said, okay, you beat us because we're not going to get beat by your run game. Marcus said, okay, at least early on. They're still down, Carolina is, but there's a lot of football left.
I mean, the first half, we saw a switch flick into Marcus Dunhill's brain where it's like, all right, this run game is being dominated. And that's a huge credit to the Fort Worth defense and coaching staff. They realize that Prasad and the rest of the Carolina rushing core, they love to get outside. So what did Fort Worth do? Just like a bunch of other teams have done, let's stop the run to the outside. Let's stop those stretches. Let's stop those tosses. They've done a great job of that tonight and getting home into the backfield and over to the sides of the field, the east and west portions of the field where Carolina love to do business. Now, for the Toros, that running tandem, they just like to gash us up the middle. That's what they've truly been doing. They're really going through the front seven of the Carolina defense and just exploiting some mismatches out there. That's why we're seeing a lot of tackles by both safeties for Carolina, because the Toros are able to get that done. So it's been the inverse, right? We'll stop you in the run game because we're going to be better in that. Our passing game, it's been pretty decent. One interception, though, but I'm not going to credit that on Eric Price at all. It was a bit bobbled pass, so it's not entirely his fault, but maybe an ill-advised pass to throw into triple coverage there. So still anyone's ball game. Toros, I mean, even going back to that goal line stand, I'm expecting, even as a Carolina fan, even as an outsider, knowing the Toros, I'm expecting them to get a touchdown there. That's a huge credit for the credit for Carolina defense. And Shravan Prasad with a $10 super chat. Carolina, I love y'all.
Oh, man. Was not prepared for that. But yeah, a lot of football left, and Fort Worth's rushing attack not going anywhere, to your point. Jet Zero and Jay-Z Bacon sizzling in the first half, and I'll take all of the puns there. Going into around the SFL, let's talk about things going on around the league, and really we need to focus on the good, and then we'll focus on the not so good. And the good right now is the 3 unbeatens that are left in the SFL. You have Bossier City, you have Vancouver, and you have Washington. And I gave you some homework in that first half, and I told you to predict me the first loss amongst those 3 teams, and then we'll do something with the opposite end of the spectrum at the end. So go ahead with those 3 teams in mind. Who loses first?
See, this is a very tough one, right? Because I could see, no matter what, one of these teams is losing by week 7. Vancouver and Washington will play each other. I look at Bossier City's schedule, and they play in Indianapolis this upcoming week 5, and then they're at home versus LA. Then they go on the road to Albuquerque. Now, we've only seen them play one away game. That was against Nashville. Nashville, as we now know, maybe hasn't gotten off to the best start of the season as that they would have hoped. And seeing how they started the last season in their inaugural campaign, very much a different Nashville team. So you look at Bossier City, and you try and figure out what has got to happen for Bossier City to keep their win streak. And so I'm looking at Indianapolis as a trap game. You're in the snake pit. It's going to be a tougher game. I'm not calling it. That's probably the closest game besides the Washington-Vancouver game we will see a loss. I'm going to say Bossier City wins that game. I say they beat Los Angeles. And then in week 7, I think both Bossier City and Washington both will lose in week 7. So I think we'll still have 3 unbeatens for the considerable future. And $5 super chat from Harish Prasad. You know, I can't really see his beard. It's too transparent. That's my $5 super chat. Over to you, Curtis.
I like it. Okay, so looking at that, so you're thinking that Vancouver is going to be the last unbeaten standing after all is said and done. I think actually that Nashville may have it figured out by then, and I think Bossier City may be the first to go off that list. Bossier City is a darn good team, and I think they're gonna be there come playoff time. But I think that's the team that I would pick to lose at that point. Let's go to the other end of the spectrum. We have 4 winless teams in the SFL as it sits right now. You have Nashville, who we just talked about a little bit, Charleston, so the Predators are on that list. Chicago and OKC are on the list of the beatens, so to speak. And what I gave you the task of on this side was which one is going to be the first one to get a win. So let's have your prediction based on that.
Okay, so oddly enough, Chicago and Nashville, two of those teams play each other in week 6. So we have until then to figure out whether or not Oklahoma City or Charleston's going to come away with the win.
Okay.
Now I look at Charleston, and they have yet to get a win. Of course, I'm looking at the Corbin Cup, which comes up this upcoming week after Carolina Fort Worth. Carolina goes to Charleston to play in South Carolina for a very, very, very always competitive game, regardless of win-loss record, regardless of what's on the line.
Hopefully not for too long. It smells there.
That's fair. But they are always going to play hard and tough. I think that's another trap game, and that's for Carolina.
Yeah.
I think Charleston probably gets a win there, unfortunately. Okay. And if we're still looking at four teams without a win going into week 6, I've got Nashville over Chicago. So it'll either be Charleston or it'll be Nashville.
Okay. That's a good step in that direction. I have I'm gonna play a little bit of homer here, and I'm gonna say that Nashville beats Chicago as well. I think Nashville's not done this season. I think there's a lot of season left for that team to figure it out. And yes, the East Division's tough, but I think that Nashville has what it takes to crawl out of the cellar at least a little bit. So we shall see. But a lot of football left here in Fort Worth. It's only a 3-point game between the Skyhawks and the Toros. It is Charles Doherty alongside Cameron Irvine on the other side. For now, this has been the MNS Halftime Report. We'll see you guys post-game.
And welcome back to the Stockyards in Fort Worth, Carolina, trailing Fort Worth 17-14 as we start the second half. Great halftime show, fellas. Chris Curtis, Tyler Falk holding it down in studio. Ron Haynes assisting in the stat truck, but Stephen Hacker is your primary statistician tonight, doing a great job for us. Charles and Cam here with you on the call. Here's your first half stats. Just a little bit of a refresher. Maybe a little bit more offense than we expected tonight, but that's a credit to both these quarterbacks.
Yeah, I'm surprised that we're not seeing a little bit more rushing yards out of Carolina with those two running backs in their stable.
Yeah, I like what Curtis said there at the half. It did kind of feel like pick your poison. Fort Worth definitely coming in to stop that run game, and they have succeeded. Price is going to start the second half with a pass complete to Stephen Hacker. Price is up to 9 for 12.
I mean, it's just like Hacker runs that route. Looks like it was a hitch route maybe, or a curl inside, whatever, and just stopped there. Nobody was around him. One of the best receivers in the league, and he's not covered at all.
Hacker's fourth grab of the night, along with Vince DeSantis' 4 on Carolina's side. Here's Jet Zero spinning back inside, near a first down. Gets some help up from a teammate.
One thing we didn't see in the first half, Cam, I want to see here in the second is a sack.
Yeah, really surprising, quiet game from both defensive fronts against the pass. These offensive lines winning the day so far. Jay-Z Bacon is stopped, and that time it's Mojo McClain with the help of his defensive front getting in the backfield and stopping Bacon for nothing, seemingly for the first time all night.
That's a huge stop there on the first on the first drive of the second half. The defense rises up and gets the ball back into their offense, and let's see how Dunhill can build on that solid first half.
From the 16-yard line, Nolan Pierce had a lot of room, kind of outkicked the coverage there to return that. A 14-yard gain for the number 1 overall pick.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of, not huge breakout runs by special teams on either side, but it's good enough. I mean, both teams are starting off with good field position, based on good results by their special teams.
Well, Carolina is definitely not coming in here getting blown out like last season. You can see the improvements on this squad. They'll start empty 5 wide, get Dunhill back in a passing situation to start the drive. Dunhill fires down the field, incomplete. Looking for Nolan Pierce, his first target, but he was blanketed.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, three defenders. I mean, that's a gambler there in Dunhill trying to find an opening there between 3 defenders.
And to your point, Charles, earlier about Pierce going on fly routes, his one catch this season did go for 29 yards, so they definitely like to send him in those moments. Dunhill against some pressure will evade and fire to Curtis down the left sideline to the Fort Worth 34-yard line. Wow, how'd he get so open?
I mean, we're talking about Pierce doing go routes when Curtis sneaks one in. It just goes straight down the field, wide open. They look like they were doing some hard zone coverage there on the edge, maybe expecting a pitch or a swing pass, and they just got burned on that one.
Curtis, DeSantis, and Hacker now all with 4 catches tonight. Carolina's in Fort Worth territory at the 32. 8:05 to go in the third quarter. Handoff now to Quintero, and Riley Quintero picks up 4 on the play.
Not a lot of yards there, Cam, but very well executed. Good blocking and able to get a nice 4 yards.
Yeah, Carolina will take the 4. Quintero just 1 run over 10. Harish's long run of the night is 5. Second down and 6. 2-by-2 here for Dunhill. Nickel look out of Fort Worth, and the handoff for Carolina doesn't get much there. They hand it off to the fullback Tony Zoma, but I was fixated on the linebackers, Charles, who almost immediately sniffed a run.
Yeah, and that's only the second run for we've seen from Zoma this season. They don't use him a lot, but I'm always a fan of getting the fullback involved.
Carolina's mixing it up. Marcus Dunhill changes the play here on 3rd and 5. Fort Worth is going to bring just 4. Dunhill evades a sack, gets away. Dunhill first down to the 19-yard line. I thought we were going to have our sack, Charles, but no.
Oh, my God. He's 6'5", and he's pretty skinny at 215. You're just able to withstand that first onslaught and just saw the opening downfield and ran for his life.
Jerry D. Gond had the opportunity to pick up that sack. Unable to. Carolina in the red zone. Handoff Quintero gets 5 on the draw.
That's a smart play there after that previous one. Keep them on their heels. Just do a draw play and get 5 out of it.
6.5 to go in the third. Carolina off the quick stop defensively on their 7th play of the drive. They've averaged over 10 yards per play on this drive. Not that time. Prasad knocked down by Stone.
Yeah, that Cross was out there to seal the edge, but wasn't able to. I think that was Ben Stone that came in, Cam, right, to bring him down.
You got it.
If Cross was a little bit farther outside on his blocking scheme, I think we would have been looking at a much larger gain on that play.
Dunhill dumps it off on 3rd and 4. Quintero had to come back for it, and that play didn't stand a chance. Adam Leach with the stop and will force a field goal.
And the 9-year veteran's just sitting there waiting for it, and good open field tackle as well. And we're looking at a field goal attempt.
Malone Brown, 5 of 6 this season, along with 43. This is 31 yards away, and Malone Brown's kick is good. 17-17, 5:36 to go in the third quarter. We are square.
Cam, I think you and I just need to buckle up and get our oxygen masks, because this is going to be crazy. I think the last part of this second half.
Well, what I like out of both these offenses, Charles, is you feel like at any point we could have an explosive play in this game. Both teams coming in with a pretty solid game plan here tonight, giving us a good show.
Yeah, solid game plan, Cam. You're absolutely right, but also, and I hate to say it because it's out there, but not a lot of mistakes.
Stone on the return. Man, if he would have fumbled right there. That was giving me flashbacks to the Houston convention, the first one, when I went up to Harish Prasad right before overtime started, and I said, it's going to be okay, or something to that effect. And then he fumbled the opening kickoff. He just looked back at me. Of course, it was my fault, you know. First down at the 32-yard line. Price straight back, fires a timing route to McGee. Really solid out route there from Henry, gets 9.
Yeah, just did that little curl to the outside there and got some separation, and the quarterback saw him and made a good gain out of it.
Second and short for Fort Worth. Halfway through the third quarter, handoff to Jet Zero, breaks a tackle. 0 to the 48-yard line of Carolina, first down.
I mean, I can't say either of these teams has the edge. I mean, they're both playing both sides of the ball. I mean, they're executing. I mean, not a lot of mistakes, getting positive yardage, and again, I think this is going to be a crazy finish.
Yeah, look at the yards per play here, Charles. 5.9 to 6.0. The yards, 236 to 235. Doesn't get any closer than that. Bacon breaks 2 tackles. Jay-Z in the open field, and Shravan Prasad tracks him down to save a touchdown.
Yeah, it's Prasad with the touchdown-saving tackle. He got a lot of speed there for number 99. Was able to keep some points off the board, but what a heck of a run there. You know, blocking was okay. Wouldn't say it was great. I mean, I think that was just all Bacon.
And now with Fort Worth back in the red zone, we turn our focus to Jet Zero, who has been touchdownless in his last 9 SFL games. The last time, Charles, that Jet Zero was in the end zone was against the Carolina Skyhawks on August 18th when he was in a Corsair uniform. Looking for his first score tonight. Handoff to Zero. He breaks a tackle and gets it to about the 13-yard line.
I think it's smart, stay with that running game. I think it's they haven't had an answer yet from on the Carolina side. I mean, you do that 1-2 punch between Zero and Bacon.
Zero's up to 58 yards. Bacon 90 yards tonight. In the backfield, Bacon gets another carry, and McLean shuts it down. A critical 3rd and long coming up.
Yeah, another big tackle there by Mojo McLean. Looks like that's his 5th of the night, but man, he's been all over the field.
Fort Worth just 1 of 4 on 3rd downs tonight. Really have not been in this situation very much. Carolina 4 for 9. Back to throw, Price. Clean pocket, Price dumps it off short. Robert Garrett Jr. again, very similar to the last drive for Carolina. He had to come back for the football. That disrupted the timing of the play, and now it's 4th down.
Yeah, exactly. Just wasn't in a good spot there. Had to, like you said, had to turn his body. Wasn't in a good position to move upfield, and now we're looking at a field goal.
Amelia Rose made her first field goal of the season earlier tonight. Now 2 for 2. Makes it 20-17. Fort Worth answers Carolina's field goal with one of their own. Back up by 3.
Just waiting for one of these teams to just, take control. I mean, both of them, like we said previously, they've been very successful in putting points on the board. Waiting for one of them to just kind of take command here.
Amelia Rose is now 3 field goals away from tying former Carolina kicker Whistle Jones for 18th all-time in field goals made. There's so much synergy and history between these two teams tonight. And I thought for a minute something was wrong with my inner ear, Charles, but I get that you were whistling now.
Yes, I feel the synergy. It's in the air tonight.
The surround sound of the studio really can mess with me in certain instances. I think that's one of them. 1st and 10 of the 20. Dunhill on a draw. Handoff Quintero. A little bit of space, but gets just 3.
I don't hate that draw. I mean, even though it's 3 yards, I mean, you can't hate it because it keeps the defense on their heels.
21 runs, 16 passes for Carolina tonight. Fort Worth, 26 runs, 14 passes. Dunhill drops to throw. Dunhill, a little bit of pressure, but that pass is caught. Vince DeSantis on probably one of the more difficult throws of the night for Dunhill.
I would say it's the second most difficult. I mean, he's been gunning all night and having a great game, and I'm a little scared to dump any more accolades on him because I don't want to give him the bad juju.
That was on Delaney Nash as well. Dunhill, 13 of 17, 178 yards.
That is impressive.
A very good stat line for Dunhill thus far. Carolina on the move again. Will draw it to Quintero. Picks up 5 before Nash takes him off his feet.
I mean, we're looking at his QBR coming into the game was under 40. Now he's like topping 150.
He's really had a bounce-back game tonight, and it's good to see Carolina finally figuring out how to utilize him, get him going. Second down 5, toss to Harish Prasad. Not much there. Ben Stone again on the outside.
Yeah, Cross has got to get that outside block. I mean, he's got to help his halfback on that pitch play. The guard already had it set on. The tackle already had it set on the inside, and he was supposed to pull out there and set the edge, and it looked like he turned in.
Third down and 4. Fort Worth backs off some. 3 receivers in the pattern for Dunhill. Dunhill will drop the throw. Dunhill again escapes to his left, fires right side, one-on-one coverage. That pass is incomplete. Fort Worth's defense going to get a stop. Banks was the intended target, and for the first time tonight, won't come down with one.
Yeah, I mean, that's, the offense stalled. I mean, that's not like what we've seen from Carolina, going up to this series. I mean, that was, it looked like something was a little off. Maybe they'll be able to go on the sidelines there and, have some discussions and correct it.
One is away from Carolina. Fair catch called for at the 23. Charles, another good one. The last time Marcus Dunhill threw multiple touchdowns without an interception was against Carolina on July 20th when he was in that Fort Worth uniform in that 45-0 round.
We're giving a lot of love to Dunhill, but you can't forget Price is having a pretty good night himself. 11 for 14, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, and 95 QBR.
Just 2 incompletions since that interception on his first throw of the night. Hand off to Zero. Zero picks up 5 to keep this offense humming for the Toros. Carolina, in a couple instances tonight, Charles, just looks like they can't stop him.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've seen a little bit of that on both sides, Cam. But they haven't been able to just continue it. You know what I'm saying? They just, as they get close to the goal line, they start to sputter.
Hacker goes out in motion. Wide of the numbers. Hand off to Bacon the other direction, and Bacon put 2 guys in a freezer to get the first down. They didn't know what to do.
Wow. Yeah, put them in the freezer, sealed them up, and, come back in 60 days.
Bacon up to 97 yards tonight.
Here we go. Alexander on a run.
And he's done it in 3 quarters. Alexander, the low man in the backfield. You called it, Charles, and Aaron Alexander's got some space. Picks up 5. Amon Eaglin on the tackle. And that brings us to the end of the third quarter. Another tight one here on the Monday Night Spectacular. We're getting treated, and so are you tonight. Carolina 17, Fort Worth 20. We'll be right back right here on the Virtual Football Network. The SFL is here on the Virtual Football Network, the official network of SFLM, SFL, UFL, and so much more coming soon. VFN, where all the best virtual football lives.
There's a lot of acronyms, Cam.
I'm pretty good with the acronyms these days.
Killing it with acronyms tonight.
Yeah, I love the acronyms.
Synergy.
Very cagey today. Handoff to Zero. First down to the 49-yard line. Another move of the sticks.
Touche, my friend. Running, though. I mean, both Zero and Bacon have been, they've had some really impressive runs tonight. But, it starts up front. The Hog Mollies, those 4 up front have been really executing well.
Clean game, too, as Ron Haynes points out. 0 accepted penalties thus far in this game. We had a PI that was waved off after a DeSantis catch. 1st and 10 now for Fort Worth at midfield. Price, 3-step drop. Looking for someone to get open. It's picked off!
Oh, wow.
Blanket coverage. Tristan Hatley steps in front of the play, and you feel like Price may have just forced that a little bit.
Yep. I mean, yeah, just a little bit ahead of the receiver, and just played right into the hands of Hatley. And you're not going to, you put that type of opportunity in front of Hatley, he's going to bring it in.
That's the nice hands catch of the game, brought to you by Retroid. Get your SFL console at GoRetroid.com. I mean, I can't really blame Price for that one. That was you trust Hacker in that situation 99 times out of 100. Hatley makes a brilliant play. Quintero on the draw gets 4.
I mean, if we keep seeing play like that from Hatley, he's going to show up on the opponent's sidelines.
Yes, that wasn't that. Didn't we have the Corbin Cup that night when he did that?
Yeah.
If he did that a second time on a Monday Night Spectacular, that is prime diva material right there. Handoff Zoma, not much there. Dexter Jackson, man, what a beast. 3rd and 4.
Hey, you know what? They're getting the fullbacks involved late in the game for the defense guessing. I love it.
Coming into the game, Dexter Jackson, you see, has 10 tackles there. Almost half of his tackles were for loss. Tonight, just 1 TFL, but is leading this defense in tackles. Nash led the team the first 2 weeks. Jackson stepping up huge. Dunhill now, 3rd down, fires, tipped over the air by Davis. That could have been pick 50 in his career, but he'll settle for a pass deflection. Carolina will have to punt.
Yeah, good stand there by Fort Worth. I mean, they needed that. Oh my gosh, they're getting the ball back. They've, I think they made some corrections, figured out what they need to do on offense, and let's just see how they execute.
That is big time from Fort Worth's defense to get a stop, to let up 0 points. What a punt. Oh, it's going to bounce in the end zone, unfortunately, for Carolina. But to let up 0 points after throwing that interception, that's always tough to overcome if you're a team like Carolina who was unable to take advantage.
That was a kind of a risky play, I think, on the punt returner's part. I don't know how he knew that was going in the end zone. I mean, it bounced on like the 10-yard line into the end zone.
Yeah, he's lucky for sure. McGee goes in motion. A tight one here on the Monday Night Spectacular, Season 24, Week 4 edition. Fort Worth up 3, trying to get to 2-1.
Look at that.
0 is dropped for a loss. 2nd and 11.
I saw that coming, Cam. They just overloaded that side of the line. They knew where they were running and just shut it down.
That's Stinson, who of all the players on these teams right now, Charles, is the only projected all-star. He came into the game leading the league in tackles with 35. He leads Carolina tonight with 11. So Stinson stacking up of a legendary season. Now, on a 1-yard loss, now 2nd and 11 for the Toros. 7:43 left to go in this one. Up 3, Price straight back, fires. That is caught. McGee to the 28-yard line to set up 3rd and 2.
Hey, to add on to the Stinson accolades, he's also got 2 interceptions, which is pretty darn good for 3 games into the season.
And 2 TFLs tonight as well to add to his 11 TFLs, 3 pass defense. He's unbelievable. Fort Worth 1 of 5 on 3rd down. Got it this time. Jet Zero breaks a tackle up to the 38. 1st down for the Toros, just their 2nd 3rd down conversion of the evening.
That was so clean on the edge there, Kim. Look at that. Oh, my gosh. I mean, that is a dream for a running back coming off the edge. You don't see any defenders until you're 5 yards past the offense, beyond the line of scrimmage.
Zero's catching up to Bacon, Charles, up to 80 yards now to Bacon's 97. 6:53 to go in the 4th quarter. Price will drop the throw again. Heavy pressure this time, incomplete. Carolina brought a rare heavy blitz, and the quick pass to McKee falls off his hands.
I think that's smart, and I'd do it again. I'd put some pressure on, Fort Worth again. Got to disrupt it. You got to get the ball back.
Price 12 of 17 for 125 yards. Skyhawks down 3. Price again, straight back, fires to McGee and gets 3 yards. A quick, short passing game for the Toros, but they're going to need more than that. Need 7 now.
Well, they had to. They didn't have. There wasn't much of an option because they sent, a blitz at the top of the screen there, and Price had to get rid of it.
Price to throw, fires, caught by McGee.
That's crazy.
How'd he get that one?
That is a crazy catch, Cam. Let's see this on the review. Plenty of time. Good blocking by that line again. And he just positioned his body where only he could catch the ball. And Hatley didn't have a shot at it.
Kudos to Eric Price for testing Tristan Hatley again after Hatley won the battle on the previous drive. This time McGee wins that one-on-one matchup. 6 minutes left. Handoff to Zero. Zero's got near another first down. 8.
Yeah. I mean, that's a running back coach's dream, the way both of these guys are playing tonight, Zero and Bacon. Every time they get the ball, I mean, the blocking is solid, but the effort that both Bacon and Zero are putting into their runs, it's incredible.
Near 200 rushing yards tonight for Fort Worth, and the passing game hasn't been half bad either. 17 first downs to just Carolina's 9. It feels like the Skyhawks are hanging on, and Bacon cannot get away, literally hanging on to JZ Bacon to force another third down.
It looked like Hall set that up, and I think that was England Eamon England that set it down at the end. But man, great defense by Carolina.
Fort Worth, 1 third down conversion all night, 2 on this drive. Can they make it 3? Third down and 3, 5:08 to go. Price back to pass, fires, caught, Garrett Jr. first down.
Wow. I mean, the tight end. I mean, you've got a great tight end, and I've gone on and on about Garrett tonight. He's Mr. Reliable, and when you're in a position like that, why not throw it into the crowd, and he's going to fight for it and bring it in.
Handoff, Zero rather. It's our first double-digit drive of this game, and this game has had a lot of possessions, 19 of them.
I don't know. Have we ever done a game where both running backs had 100 yards?
It's pretty rare. Los Angeles did it in a win last week, but it's pretty rare, especially in prime time in a big spot with some top-shelf defenses. JZ Bacon's got his first 100-yard game since August 24th.
That's effort. I mean, I can go on and on, but man, just look at the film. I mean, they get the ball, but decent blocking, but after that, it's just all effort between Bacon and Zero.
Can Fort Worth make it 4 for 4 on third downs on this drive? Yes! Zero! Past the 25 to the 22! Carolina can't get off the field. They're running out of time.
Yeah, they're getting gassed too, Cam. I mean, they've been in that field for a long time. They need I'd call a timeout, and take a breather.
6 total yards of offense for Carolina in the fourth quarter. They just haven't had the ball much. The 3 and out off the interception. Handoff, Bacon got just inside the 20. A short 4, second down.
I mean, they are executing a time-eating game plan to perfection between Zero and Bacon and the blocking up front.
They got the ball with 8:17 left in the game, Charles. Over 5 minutes. 5 up on the line for the Skyhawks. Under 3 to play. 2nd and 6. Handoff to Zero. Here we go again. Can Fort Worth make it 5 for 5 on the 15th play of the drive?
Okay, I'm going to predict a drag route by Garrett. Across the middle.
And everything has been so precise for Fort Worth on this drive. They're getting exactly what they need. 2.5 left. This is Carolina's moment defensively. Price back to pass. Clean pocket, breaking down. Price end zone, out of the back of the end zone. Wow. 15 plays, and Carolina will hold for 3.
I mean, those routes that they called on that play were just so deep. I mean, you have a minimal amount of time before you got to get rid of that ball, or your wide receivers are standing outside the end zone.
And the people that took the over are like, you got to be kidding me with that. Trying to get to 40 here. Amelia Rose, 3 for 3 tonight. That kick is good. 23, 17, 16 play. Nearly 6-minute drive from Fort Worth.
Well, at the rate Dunhill's been playing, then I think Carolina's got nothing but confidence coming in here to this offensive possession.
Dunhill misfired on his last 2, but before that hit 7 of 8, and you can see that on 6 of those passes, they were all over 10 yards. So they've had the magic deep down the field. Can they get the magic here on what could potentially be their final drive? Harish Prasad up to the 26-yard line. You know, they were talking about, Carolina was in the chat earlier tonight about me jinxing Dunhill with all the stats I was throwing out. I can try to reverse jinx you. Carolina, one of the league's worst historical road teams. Their record is 35-100 on the road. That's 20th all time. Trying to get a rare road win here in a big spot against Fort Worth, who's currently last in the South Division with a 1-1 record. Back to pass, Dunhill fires down the middle. That pass incomplete. Ben Stone knocks it away from DeSantis.
Oh, he should have caught that. That was a big-time pass. Needed a big-time reception.
That is 3 straight incompletions for Dunhill after a very impressive night. Got to get it going again. Trips off the right side. Dunhill rolling. Haven't seen this tonight. Dunhill fires. Caught by Curtis at the 47-yard line near a first down. Or first down, rather, near midfield.
Went into their bag of tricks there, Cam. Didn't see the rollout all night, I think. And executed that one perfectly. Look at the blocking. Plenty of time. Just found the gap between the cornerback and the safety and just able to capitalize on it.
He wasn't open at first either. Great patience there from Dunhill. 2 minutes left. What a thriller in Fort Worth.
Wow.
Curtis matches his number, 84 yards. Right on the nose. That's what DeSantis has tonight as well. 5 wide empty for Dunhill. 2 minutes left. All 3 timeouts. They need a touchdown and an extra point to win it. Now 4-1.
There's Nolan.
Dunhill rolling left, fires deep and just overshot. It was an outstretched arm, may have been Pierce. Incomplete.
Yeah, it happens so fast. You never know. With an eye set.
Second down, maybe try to make third down a little more manageable. We'll see what they do. Nope, Dunhill to throw. Dunhill again has to escape to his left. Fires across his body. Caught by Earl. His first catch of the game.
That was another magical throw there by Dunhill. In between the two, we're not going to get the replay, but man, in between 2 defenders, that was fantastic.
Marcus Dunhill, what a throw to the 27.5-yard line. 126 and counting. It looks like Carolina's going to be the last with the football. Dunhill rolling out, firing down the field, incomplete. Looking for Curtis at the 10.
I think they hit him in the ribcage, Cam.
Woo. A hospital pass for sure.
Crazy.
Dunhill 15-24, 2:24. DeSantis goes in motion. Fort Worth trying to hold on. Carolina trying to improve to 3-1. Their best start through 4 weeks in season 11. 2nd and 10. Draw. This is Quintero, and Quintero picks up 6.
Okay. All right. That was interesting.
Maybe they don't want Fort Worth to get a shot. If they score a touchdown, they don't want to give Eric Price the ball back. 1 minute left. Say again?
No, I was just basically grumbling. Trying to figure out what they were doing.
50 seconds, 3rd and 4. What are they going to do here? Dunhill pass. Marcus, clean pocket. Fires, caught. Touchdown, Vince DeSantis. We are tied.
What another, that's the 3rd unbelievable pass by Dunhill tonight. Oh my gosh. He's covered by a linebacker. Mad respect for Vincent, but that's going to be hard covering DeSantis on a deep route. He just took advantage of it, and Dunhill put it where only DeSantis could catch it, and now we could potentially get a lead change here.
John in the chat. I think I've watched more of this league than I did the Cowboys the entire season. Thank you, man. And as a guy that's not really big on the Cowboys. I really appreciate that comment. What a play. Marcus Dunhill, 3 touchdowns, no picks tonight in his return to Fort Worth. Now it's back to the Toros and Eric Price to try to make something happen. For Vince DeSantis, this is the first time in his 4K23 career he's had multiple touchdowns in a game, and he does it in the biggest spot.
Yeah, I mean, the tight ends, I mean, I think that's the linchpin, I think, for your passing game. You got a good tight end, I think good things are going to happen. And, man, what a game for Dunhill coming back Fort Worth.
Greg Soto called it about 30 minutes ago in the chat. He said, I'm calling 24-23 Carolina. Right now, that holds true. 44 seconds left. Price fires. That pass is caught by Hacker. They have 3 timeouts. They'll have to burn 1 there.
And you know what? It's they still got time. A couple good passes here, and this could get crazy.
They're going to have to push a little bit, but they do only need a field goal, and Amelia Rose is one of the best in SFL history. Price, besides the 2 picks, man, has really been outstanding. Rose, 126 of 132 in her career. Price fires down the field. McKee got open to the 43-yard line. First down, timeout Fort Worth. They need to save the last one for the kicking team.
This is getting interesting, Cam.
Woo! Could they pull it off?
I mean, they still have 1 timeout left, but I would not pass a route in the middle of the field. You got to start looking at sidelines at this point.
McGee leads the team, 7 catches on 10 targets, 74 yards. Price back to throw. There you go to the sideline, but the pass was a little bit off target to Robert Garrett Jr. Now they got to hurry. 25 seconds left. Price might spike it on 2nd and 8. No, he's going to throw. Price back, looking, fires, pass, incomplete with a flag. There's a flag. Our first penalty of the game is going to be a pass interference and put Fort Worth near field goal range.
Oh my gosh, Cam. And they got a timeout.
The penalty stops the clock with 18 seconds to go. It's on Joseph. I don't see anything there.
Nope. Bad call. But you could also, I mean, looking at it from Fort Worth standpoint, they could run it and call a timeout. The way they've been running tonight, I wouldn't hate them doing a run play here.
Wow, that is a tough call at the 41-yard line of Carolina. Skyhawks need to stop. Price straight back. Price fires. Picked off. Intercepted. Danny Stinson, projected all-star, and you can book the victory for the Skyhawks.
Oh, that was not a good formation to call on that one with the fullback in the backfield. I mean, I love it, Aaron Alexander, but holy smokes. I mean, I'm scratching my head, Cam.
Danny Stinson with a stunner, and Marcus Dunhill is going to win his return to Fort Worth with an eerily similar stat line that he had last season against the team he now plays for. You just cannot make this up.
So they've got Jet Zero and Jay-Z Bacon, both 100-yard runners, and they put a fullback in there with the game on the line, a fullback formation. Like I said, they could have run it up the middle on a draw play and called a timeout and potentially been in range for a field goal.
Man, what a game and a missed opportunity for the Toros, who will shockingly fall to 1-2. The Carolina Skyhawks pull it off and get to 3-1. What a road win, and what a finish here on a Monday night. Your final thoughts, Charles?
I'm going to give a lot of credit there to the offensive line for Carolina, with the exception of Chad Rowland. But Marcus Dunhill had a perfect game. I'm going to give him the ball. I mean, that was one of the best games I've seen him play in a long while.
Bacon finishes with 103 officially, 0 with 97. Vince DeSantis, 105 yards and 2 touchdowns on the night. But I gotta agree with you, Charles. Marcus Dunhill, this was his night, and he owned the moment. 136 QBR, 16 of 25, 246 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks. Final thoughts?
Yeah, Cam, there were 3 passes that he did tonight that could be highlight passes, like for a career resume for a quarterback. And he did it 3 times tonight. Just unbelievable, his accuracy.
Well, we know Tyler Falk and Chris Curtis are going to be excited about that finish in postgame. They'll also have a preview of Week 5. So if you want more excitement in Week 5, we had it in Week 4 in spades. Carolina pulls a shocker, 24-23 over Fort Worth. We'll send it to Chris Curtis and Tyler Falk in the studio here momentarily, and we'll see you next week for more SFL action.
And with that, a pleasant how do you do to the Fort Worth Toros. The Carolina Skyhawks come out with a 1-point victory in Fort Worth. Alongside Tyler Falk, I'm Chris Curtis. Good call, Cam and Charles. That was a fun one. No doubt about that one. A last-second interception by Danny Stinson seals the game 24-23 in favor of the Skyhawks. Tyler, talk to me about that second half. And, what a second half it was. Just a really great game of football all around.
Instant neutral reaction. Hell of a game. What a hell of a game.
Yep.
Both teams were phenomenal. Carolina just had it at the end. Dunhill was just precision personified there on that last drive. DeSantis, Chase Earl, so many good throws. And then Chad Stinson with the yoink at the end to yank away what was looking to be a sure Fort Worth phenomenal drive to knock us off with a 3-point score. My Carolina reaction, I almost threw my chair across the room.
I heard it. It was messy in here.
In excitement. So back to being a broadcaster, back to being
yeah, exactly.
I mean, hats off to the Toros. As being a Carolina fan and a Minnesota Viking fan, we know what it's like to have your quarterback throw a costly interception in the last
Vikings,
second. Brett Favre and Bountygate, anyone in 09?
Oh, good Lord.
Last second field goals going wide left or wide right from about 17 yards out. Yeah, you do the math. So it's just I feel for the Toros here. They played a phenomenal game. Eric Price just a little bit wayward. Dunhill was on point. That was the difference.
Yeah, huge game. And really, the stats going into the fourth quarter were pretty much identical, which is wild to say. And it was still a really close game either way. The 2 interceptions, I think, really are what did the Toros in. I mean, Eric Price threw them in inopportune times. And then the key third down stop that stopped the touchdown in the first half that they ended up settling for 3 on is something you can point back to as well. But Fort Worth's not going anywhere. They are a good team. I understand that they are a little bit down in the standings right now, but still a lot of football left. And they're a good team. There's no doubt about that. JZ Bacon, Jet Zero, Eric Price, Stephen Hacker, they will be there. RGJ, of course, they'll be there when it comes to playoff time in my prediction. So, but looking ahead, Carolina moves to, I believe, a tie for their best start in franchise history at 3-1. So congrats to Carolina, those guys down there, guys and gals down there, very, very excited. But we have a week 5 in front of us as we look ahead with the rest of this post game tie, and a lot of good games on the docket for week number 5. And looking at Saturday is going to be a fun one. But let's talk about Friday first. We ended with Carolina. Today, we start with Carolina in week 5. They go to Charleston, and it's chapter infinity of the Corbin Cup.
Absolutely. I mean, that's going to be a phenomenal game to watch. The game I'm really looking forward more to, besides our game, going to be coming up Carolina in Albuquerque or Carolina or Charleston. Wow, let's get things right.
Breathe, my friend. Breathe, my friend. You're a little excitable. I understand.
I am very excited.
I understand.
No, Corbin Cup.
Yes.
The Predators are always tough, especially when we play them. It is going to be a tough game for Carolina. I called it already. It's going to be a trap game. Skyhawks have to be on their number. The big thing now here for Lexington and for Albuquerque, the game going on the other side of their contest, is both teams are coming off relatively early losses, very disappointing losses. Lexington losing to Sin City, getting blanked 34-0. Albuquerque just losing to Queen City in a game where they gave up 24 unanswered points when they had a 21-0 lead. And so I think that game, this is a big prove it game for both teams. Which one is the sum of their parts rather than just being the result of those terrible losses here early in the season?
And Lexington, a victim of getting their doors blown off there earlier in the season, as well as they were a victim of a pretty sizable rout. So that is a definite prove it game. I think you got that right on the head. Saturday, a lot of games going on. 4 to be exact. It's Mexico City, Fort Worth, as we see Fort Worth again. Queen City, Vancouver. That should be a prove it game for Queen City. Bossier City, Indianapolis. We talked about them a little while ago. And Baltimore coming off a pretty sizable loss to the Riverhogs. They go to Chicago. Chicago searches for their first win. Give me your game on Saturday that you're paying attention to.
Let's keep it going with the prove it games. Queen City now with a nice comeback on their hands, play against an unbeaten team. Another stern test here for the Corsairs. Can they go from New York to Vancouver, from the Atlantic to the Pacific, and keep this momentum going? Can Vancouver, who are led by a rushing quarterback, Christian Brown, who's doing a fantastic job. I think Brett Killian said he was top 10 in terms of rushing as
pretty
a
sure
as a
6th.
QB. Yeah, 6.
Yeah,
officially. And so that to me, I'm just to see what Queen City comes out with. This is a very much to me, it feels like a very different Queen City team, and especially for Vancouver, who are looking for a prove it game themselves after what some would call maybe a very soft opening start, but they've looked very good in doing it, holding teams to a combined 16 points against them. That's the best in the SFL. That's my game to watch on Saturday.
There you go. Good defense coming on from Vancouver right now. You got to think that based on last season, they did not perform up to their standards. They're right where they need to be as far as their standards go now. Again, Bossier City, Indianapolis, and Baltimore, Chicago, the other 2 games on that day. Sunday, 4 more games. It's Nashville and Florida. Nashville searching for their first win. Do they get it against Florida? That's going to be a big ask in Fort Lauderdale against the Storm. Denver, Pittsburgh, Houston, Washington, and Oklahoma City, LA. Looking at this calendar of games, I'm actually looking at the Houston-Washington game. If I'm not mistaken, Houston's coming off a pretty sizable win over Mexico City. That's a good-looking game coming up against the undefeated Washington Trident in the Pacific Northwest. What's your game to watch?
You've got a good one right there. I think the other game to watch for me is the development of 2 franchises. And that's one that is just starting and one that's been perennial. Oh, we've got it this year. We've got it this year. We're going to be better this year. And that's Oklahoma City and Los Angeles. Now, OKC still looking for anything. They can say they've been a little bit on the back foot here, still trying to get people to filter in and try and get them on the team so they can build something and start a culture and continue pushing forward. But LA, this is a game that you have to win if you're Los Angeles. Have to beat the expansion team. Because you go in, you lose this game against OKC, and now you're thinking, same old Lycans, same old LA. And this is a game for both teams where, OKC, they've told their guys that this, we are going to build, we are going to get things done. However, this is also a team for LA. They have to get things done. They got to do it quick if they really want to change things around.
Tiberius Bovine, Brady Clark, and Christian Bacigalupi and company over there in OKC looking for their first win since returning as a franchise. LA with Rochelle Colston and Sully Richardson looking to try to get on the board at home early and often against OKC. Denver, Pittsburgh, and then Nashville, Florida, the other 2 games on that docket for Sunday. And then we head to the Monday Night Spectacular, and it is in Phoenix. It is the Arizona Scorpions playing host to the Sin City Samurai as they head a little bit south and west to take on their Arizona counterparts. This should be a good game. Eddie finally gets his home game Monday Night Spectacular, and he's going to be as prepared as he possibly can be for these Samurai.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the big thing that we've noticed or come to realize here throughout the beginning part of the season is even though the matchups, we were even talking a 1 week's time ago that it's going to be a tough game for Carolina, and it was a tough game for Carolina, and we did eventually come away with this victory, but we thought it was going to be a very different score line going into this game. Right now you're thinking, oh, Sin City / Canton, things are very different. Things are very different. They're going to have a very stern test against Arizona. You look at Arizona, and they have history against teams like this. This is an opportunity for Sin City to take advantage. I think the one thing that Eddie Gage does, and this is something I haven't said, I think Eddie Gage's out is himself. You look at some of the things that Arizona's been able to do, and it's established the run and not have Ashley Jackson throw so much. When he overcoaches himself, that's when they start to make mistakes. That's when Ashley Jackson starts throwing turnovers in the red zone. That's when they don't make things happen that they should. So expect for this game, Sin City, Arizona, down in Phoenix, Fatality Field. Expect this game to be just as tight, to be just as competitive as the last couple we've seen here on Monday night.
Fair enough. A lot of good games coming up week 5. And I dare say that week 3 had about as many matchups with storylines to watch. This one is different storylines, however, a lot to keep your eye on for the 5th week of SFL action. But this game has proven to be a continuation of the Monday Night Spectacular theme. 24-23, Carolina on the road in Fort Worth takes care of the Toros, sends the Toros to 0-4, I do believe, and Carolina to 3-1. Okay, that being said, we are done here, and the Monday Night Spectacular for week 4 is on the shelf. Week 5 just a few days away. We will see you guys then. Thanks for watching, and enjoy the rest of your night.